Okay, Dave, here you go. You've caught this river right eddy below the first of the Twin Falls. Let's check it out. Some nice onside strokes to establish momentum, a little bit of a bow draw to maintain the angle of entry. I think looking closely at this, we can probably find a point where, like there, where your bow is like nice and free over a wave trough. There, it's plowing into the wave trough a little more, but you react, or I should say, you are proactive. You're already on this hanging stern draw that gives you a really nice glide across that wave trough. Really beautiful. Nice timing on that crossover. Looks like a little bit of a cross bow draw, then several cross forward strokes. And what that does is, there was no time where I saw you slipping back with your stern, the direction your stern was pointed. So really nice transfer of cross current momentum to upriver momentum by staying on that cross forward, staying on the inside of your carve. Yeah, and overall, really nice sequence of cross forward strokes there, slicing recovery. Keep in mind that on that recovery, if we look really closely here, your top hand is starting to creep above shoulder level. We've talked about that a little bit. And so in your recovery, you can think about keeping your paddle blade fully in the water and recovering by dropping that top hand back to help slice forward. And that'll protect your shoulder, the position your shoulder in is is in right now is somewhat vulnerable. Let's keep looking at this sequence though. Like I said, really nice sequence of cross forward strokes to maintain your momentum that you caught from the initial crossing, translating that into carving momentum to come back out of the eddy. Here's your switch back to your onside, some angle adjustments, final angle adjustment, and a nice boost stroke. Really nice job. This is about the only time that I recommend being particularly like chin back of your saddle, which you have right there. It does seem to give you the knee lift that I think you were looking for, meaning that your bow stays free of the eddy just a touch longer. And look at your chin comes back over your knees once your bow is free again. That really nice timing on all of that in terms of how you're thinking about the trim front to back of your canoe and how it relates to your lean. Here, a really nice switch back and forth between initially a brace or a bow draw, switching to a stern draw, switching to a stern pry, and a bow draw once you're ready to tighten that arc so you don't smack into Ken's boat there. So just to reiterate, here, widening the arc of your turn as you're coming into the eddy, recognizing the need to tighten the arc of your turn, switching to a stern pry. That switches then to a draw that starts at the hip, comes to the brings your knees towards the paddle, and that then turns quickly into a forward stroke. That is a really beautiful sequence. Please keep that in your repertoire. Continuing on in the move. Something to think about here, look at these couple catches on your forward stroke. Something to keep is I see the panel of your life jacket here. That's really great. There's clearly some twist. But I'm also seeing that I think your chin is probably over your knees. And as you're crossing, especially on your onside stroke, ideally keeping this bow up out of the water as much as possible, moving the pivot point a little further back, exponentially increases the power of any onside stroke you take. So your incentive to unload the bow, in other words, to keep an upright posture here, is just to make the most of those onside strokes by not fighting a bow pinning wave that's closer to the end of your boat rather than a bow pinning wave that's more like here. Let's watch how this sequence progresses. Nice. Initially, it looks like you have your bow out over a wave trough. I believe that that lets you stay on this static stroke here. As your bow starts to bury there, your angle opens up, and look, that was so beautifully done. You shifted your onside static draw to more of a stern draw. So you end the maneuver with your draw back here, just before or just as your bow loads from the back face of the oncoming wave. Really nicely done. Nice timing on that cross. That's a tight eddy. Everyone's been hugging that rock. A lot of momentum coming across there from all the current. Nice repositioning. Entry on the stern pry. Nice set of maneuvers, Dave.